Good afternoon, namaste, and welcome to this talk on something that should be of our interest because we live in a world of sound, the world of, if I may also use the word noise, and the world is becoming more and more a noisier place than ever before. We are always constantly talking and surrounded in a highly noise dense, or if I may say, the sound dense environment. Now, there is a very potent branch of yoga which can really help us to navigate through this thick cloud of sound or noise and help us to reach out to the depth of our mind, to the depth of our psyche, and that branch is known as the mantras, the yoga of sound. Now, when we are talking about this yoga of sound, there's this common understanding. I'm supposed to repeat some Indian origin Sanskrit sounds, and these sounds are gonna bring peace and harmony to me, and my life will transform. We can hold to that understanding for sure, but that's quite a shallow exploration of this vast science and ancient science. Mantras are not just random sound picked from Sanskrit vocabulary, and when you are repeating, they are bringing some transformation in you. Rather, they are the keys, like sound keys, with which we have the power to open up certain psychic chambers within us, and we can navigate through the deeper layers of our mind, body, and consciousness. Now, if the sounds are too fairy tale or too science fiction, it's not quite. We are using sound, right? You can instruct your Siri and it will dial a number. You can instruct your Google and say, "Hey Google, play me X and Y Z music," and it's gonna do that. Sound has the power to follow your command, your wish, and to help to transform or to act in a specific way. If we talk into this so-called modern science, we are using sound to break down a stone in a kidney. We are using sound to realign the energetic circulation taking place within our body. So we do understand the sound as an energy has an immense power in influencing matter. In fact, we all know this. The whatever we see in the material world is nothing but a condensed form of energy, and the energy can be converted into matter, and the matter can be converted into energy. This is an understandable 8th grade science that we all have studied. Now, what's my interest is me being a yoga teacher for a substantial amount of time in my life, and then eventually navigated to psychology and working now as a psychologist. I'm highly keen on understanding how the ancient wisdoms can help us to alter our mental state, can help us to navigate through our consciousness and give us a better experience of who we are, what we are, and how we can reach to our full potential, whatever that potential may be. And a person can come from a corporate background. Their aspiration can be, I want to reach to a higher managerial post, and there can be a new mother who wants to become more calm and peaceful to raise the kids better. There can be a sports person who want to achieve a game in their own field, and that can completely be understood. The fundamental understanding that I would like to share with you today is when we look through the lens of yoga, we are never really dealing with the surface. We always invite ourselves, how smoothly can we navigate to the depth, to the roots. And at the roots of our creation, there is this beautiful interplay between energy and consciousness, energy, consciousness, and matter. So when we're looking into the science of mantras, the word mantra in itself, man comes from the word mind, and tra is the liberation. So how can we liberate the mind, and not referring as in how can we empty the mind, rather tap into the full potential of the mind. We look into the science of mantras, which is also very closely practiced along with the yantras, which are the geometrical shape, as a blueprint to navigate into the psyche. Now, if we take a step back and want to understand what exactly are we talking about when we are referring to this word psyche, psyche is that invisible puppeteer which is pulling all the strings in your life. Everything that you do unconsciously, which is pretty much the 90% plus part of your life, is belonging to this dimension which is controlled by your psyche. And it's only about 5 or 10% in a very optimistical scenario that you are in control of your life and you decide, okay, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z to make my life meaningful. So it won't be too wrong to say whatever the quality of life you're experiencing is an representation of what your psyche is telling you to do and how it is unfolding in a deeper sense. So, what can we do to influence psyche and how the psyche is influencing the body? Now let's come to something that is more tangible and we can understand this without much of an imaginary exploration to the science of mantras, which is our physical body. We might have studied the fundamental physiology and we understand our internal experience is created by collaboration of the nervous system and endocrine system. Endocrine system, though, if you break the word, endo means something internal, crine is something that secretes, and it is that entire cluster of inner space, inner organs that secretes different hormones and we experience life. Now, if anybody wants to understand the influence of an endocrine system, you just need to talk to a lady and she will happily, I guess, explain to you that how her life moves like a dolphin in a wave pattern during the 4 weeks of a month because of hormonal changes. And we need to tap into that understanding to know, oh, this is how my inner forces are navigating and how can I take control. Most of the time we are dragged by this joint venture between the endocrine system and the nervous system, and we are experiencing life where we feel like I'm not really in control. I'm being carried on. So here is why I invite everybody to study and understand mantras. Now let's also be very clear, when we are using the word mantras, this is not a fusion Indian traditional sounds played in the background when I'm doing my sun salutation or doing my meditation. No, that's not the way to do it. The mantras are the Sanskrit sounds, and here the sounds are not only the carrier of a meaning, they're the carrier of a very small quantums of energies tied together, and that's how they create an impact in your endocrine system. And in yogic terminology, endocrine system is very closely related to the system of the chakras, the energy centers placed within our body. Now, imagine you have a set of sound key, a sound instruction with which you can impact the different chakras, the different energy centers in your body. Now, even if you don't have much of an understanding about what are these energy centers, let's understand something that when we say, oh, my heart center, we are referring to that, oh, this is the center of freedom and love, and my stomach, which is the center of the power and energy, and my third eye could be the center of intuition, clarity, creativity. Now imagine you have the power to turn on, off, or down regulate or up regulate these energy systems, the centers in your body. How wonderful your life can become in giving a wholesome structure of your entirety of your mind. And that brings us to the table to look into the drawing board, understand who we are and how our inner blueprint looks like, and introduce the mantras. So very bluntly, I would say mantras are not something that you will scroll the social media and to look into your iTunes or Spotify and pick a mantra and start listening to it or repeating to it. You need to get in contact with a person who have studied and understood the intricate details of the mantras as well as how they're going to impact your psychophysiology. And if you're ready to do that, then what happens? You will not be playing with the hundreds of keys in trying to open or close a specific permutation and combination in your psyche. You will know exactly, precisely what mantra to use to bring that transformation. Now, there are plenty of mantras. I mean, maybe even innumerable number of mantras. I don't know anybody who can say, oh, I know most of the mantras. No, there are plenty. But there are certain mantras which are falling in the category of helping you to calm yourself, tap into your body and mind, help you to become present. There are mantras which can elevate and uplift and upregulate your energy flow. There are mantras which are deeply healing in nature. So there can be a variety of mantras that you need to know before you want to implement them. Now, there's a wonderful question that can arise in someone's mind. So how should I approach the practice of the mantras? If I want to approach, the first rule will be mantras coming from, in Sanskrit, from the Shruti Vidya. Shruti means the one which is learned through listening. So once you identify what's the most appropriate mantra for you, all you need to do, you wake up in the morning when your mind is more fertile and ready to absorb the energy. You simply listen to those mantras for 5-10 minutes. In no time, maybe within weeks or within a month, you will notice a beautiful metamorphosis happening within your psyche. You have stopped listening to the mantras, but your mind will be humming and you will be hearing an inner voice, inner sound, the resonance of those mantras. And that's a beautiful state. When we reach to that, we know that now these sounds are helping to regulate my psychic dimension. And what happens eventually, as I said earlier, our entire life is an outward expression of what is happening at the depth of our psyche, at the depth of our consciousness and energy. We start experiencing what that particular mantra is supposed to bring in our life. Whether it could be management from anxiety, dealing with the depression, or an upliftment and having prosperity and abundance, all of those things becomes a natural outcome of the listening and the practicing of the mantras. And eventually you might be able to even chant and repeat those mantras. Mantras were one of the most potent tools that was used in yogic psychotherapy, and this is one of the tools I've been using in my therapy quite extensively with people in dealing with the very challenging mental psychological conditions. And I have seen immense benefit out of using mantras as a tool to navigate and transform the deeper areas of our mind and body. This has somehow got diluted in this modern society where it has been used, unfortunately, just as a source of background sound, or a sound that something, so it is a cluster of sound we use as a prayers. It's not. It's a profound tool to work with. Now, if you're very new and you want to start a practice without even consulting a proper person who knows and who understands how the mantra should be practiced, one of the safest way to practice is the chanting of the mantra Om. And as you keep chanting or even listening to this mantra, what happens? Your inner vibration starts tuning in with this sound vibration of Om, and Om is believed and understood to be the vibration of the entire creation, meaning you are now in sync with everything that is happening, not only in your immediate ecosystem but into your larger ecosystem. That means what? That you become part of the entire creation, which is aimed to grow more prosperous and evolve and bring more meaning into our life. So that is what, in short, what mantras are all about. And if you have any questions, any doubt about them, I'd be very happy to hear you, and would love to help you out on that. Thank you.